So this was another requested camouflage test video, and what we're doing in this one is testing a few different types of camouflage with infrared. So what I'm just doing first when I'm walking around in circles is just showing you what each of the camouflages looks like basically under normal lighting conditions of a normal camera. So the first camouflage was the Yugoslav or Serbian regular sort of M93 camouflage, the one I re-dyed green. Then we have British MTP, now we're on the Swiss Alpenflage, and lastly we'll have the Zimbabwe sort of bush camouflage, I guess you'd call it, or sort of savanna camouflage. It's the one that replaced Rhodesian bush stroke in Zimbabwe. So that's this one here. What I will do is, when I go to the infrared footage, I'll put all of the things in the same order, but what I'm going to do first is show you what a regular t-shirt looks like under infrared, if you're not aware how sort of colours will look under infrared with everything being monochrome. So here is a regular t-shirt that had a couple of different colours on it under infrared. Only one of the colours actually looks different, and this is an important thing with infrared, is that lots of colours just look basically grey. So that's why camouflages don't always work under infrared. Now here's a Serbian or Yugoslav camouflage, and I was really happy that this worked because it's the one that I dyed myself, and I was expecting that the dye might have ruined the infrared camouflage ability of it, but it still works surprisingly well. As you can see, all the different colours are still visible under infrared, although some look very black and some look very white, but it actually has colour variation under the infrared. Now the British MTP, and you can see this works okay. It's not brilliant and it's not awful. It's sort of totally grayscale. It wouldn't stand out in the distance under an infrared spotting lamp, but it's not particularly good at high contrast sort of infrared camouflage either. Now the Swiss Alpenflage, and I think this works really well under the infrared. As you can see, the dark bits look dark, the light bits look light, and there's lots of colour variation and noise in between, which makes it hard to work out that it's, you know, a single piece of clothing. Now for the Zimbabwe camouflage, and this really surprised me how well this worked, because I was not assuming this would work at all. I'd assumed it would have been done with very cheap dyes that basically would only work under the naked eye and not in an infrared camera. But as you can see, this has several variants of colour on it under infrared. Next I thought I'd test some scrim netting, because I certainly like using scrim netting as camouflage normally, but I was disappointed to find out that the scrim nets do not work under infrared at all. They all seem to glow white, which means that if you had a scrim net on and somebody was using an infrared spotting lamp, you might actually give yourself away more than if you were not using one. As you can see, the camouflage pattern on one of the scrim nets does not come across at all, and on the other one you're able just to completely sort of see that it glows and it has no sort of camouflage dye under infrared in it at all. If I was wearing that on top of one of these camouflage items that works in the infrared, this would definitely give you away. And lastly, I wanted to test Yugoslavian summer camouflage out. I hadn't filmed this again with the regular camera, but I just thought I'd grab it while I had the infrared camera out. And the pattern on this certainly does come across, but not as well as it does in its natural colours. So again, this is one of those camouflages that's better than nothing under infrared, but nowhere near as good as camouflages that actually have infrared coating. Now, what I did notice is in the mirror the colours look a lot more natural than the ones that I'm actually holding it up, which is very strange. I don't know why. I guess it's how infrared heat works with reflective surfaces. But yeah, if you look in the mirror, you can see that things look far more natural colours in monochrome than they do under the direct infrared light.